Gamer34 here. So today I'm back with a video, and I'm sure you guys have seen this before. This is a paint program thing that I've made, and before I had it so that you could have memory access to save your images, but there was no way to overwrite your images. You could only write an image and load it. You couldn't then overwrite the load image and then load that one back in. So it was kind of dumb, and because of that wiring, it made it huge and slow. So I decided to scrap that and show you guys how quick this can actually be and how small it actually is. And not only that, I'm also going to be giving you guys a download link of this map so that you guys can play around with all this stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and turn on our cursor, and now we have a blinking cursor, and if I go down, you'll notice that it rotates up, and if I go up, you notice it rotates down, left, and right. So we have looping functions. Okay, so now that we can move our cursor, let's draw something. So I'll probably speed this up in the video. There it is. So we have a creeper face. So the cursor's on the last pixel that we plotted, so then we'll scroll down so you can see our cursor. We'll go ahead and turn off our cursor so it's not blinking, or actually better yet, we'll leave on our cursor but move it to the bottom left. Just like that. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and even invert our screen. And if we wanted to work on it like that, then all we'd have to do is get our cursor and let's click. Let's see where it undoes. So it undid that right there. So that's where our cursor is. So then our cursor should go up one. And we can choose to write that pixel in. 1, 2, 3, click. Yep, and then we could invert the screen again, turn off our thingy. Yeah. So that's it, drawing some images. Now let's take a look at the outside. So on our way out, come up and around, and the first thing we'll look at is underneath here. And so this is where all the busing comes out for the 4 directional switches, like that. And it comes out over here, then we have our cursor enable, and we have our reset there. And that's all the input. And it comes over here. And then the up down is controlled by a pointer in the Y register shift, or Y shift register, so it takes a pointer. Let's see where the current value is. It should be down at the bottom. So it takes this pointer value down here, and it can shift it up or down, and that's how we get our Y movement. And the same thing is similar to our X. Right here is we have this X value that can be shifted left or right using a shift register that's down there. And then the main logic for this thing is housed right here. So this AND gate thing does the switching between a cursor or the toggle, and then this is the 8x8 cell of cursors and toggles. So to get another look, here's that same 8x8 cell, just without anything else. So this is what does all the logic for the paint. So if we take a look, we have inputs that either get a long pulse or a short, or a pulse or a long pulse, I guess. So this is basically how it works. So the top input, we get ourselves a clock, and you can see the clock is just a 4 tick on, 4 tick off, just like that. And then there's a T flip-flop down underneath that works like this. You can toggle it like that. You can toggle it off. So that's what that does. Now there's also these. So this right here, if you give it a really long pulse, if you give all these lines coming out, if you OR them all together and then give them a really long pulse, what that does is it comes into this torch here, turning off the power into this comparator, which is what does the T flip-flop in pulse. And when you turn it off for a really long time, what that does is it clears the T flip-flop. So that's a way of actually resetting the T flip-flop. When you give it more than a 4-tick pulse, or like a 4-tick pulse or something like that or longer, it'll clear the T flip-flop. And how I get my invert screen function is if you flash these lines with a 2-tick pulse, it toggles every T flip-flop, causing an inversion. Because T flip-flops just invert the bit that you're on. If it's a 1, you'll get a 0. If it's a 0, you'll get a 1. And if you do that to every pixel on the screen, you invert your screen. So that's how I got that function on here as well. So depending on the pulse length of the tick, or the tick pulse length that you give it into these lines or together, is how you will get your toggled input or output. And I can actually demonstrate that by showing you this, that all these lines are ORed together. You see all these repeaters and stuff. All that is managed right here, and it's ORed together. And so that's how that works. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. If you aren't already subscribed, please do that too, and yeah, stick around for more videos.